Good morning, students. Today I'm going to show you how to draw a cylinder, and this will help you later on when you're drawing a mug. First of all, when you're drawing a cylinder, you want to be drawing a shape a little bit like an eye, an oval shape. Now that's called an ellipse, and you could sketch it 100 times and not get it right. So what I'm going to do is show you a trick which I've learned over the years for how to draw an accurate ellipse. First thing we do is draw a cross. Doesn't have to be perfect. And then we're going to draw a donut. So a small circle. Use the cross to help you. Small circle, and then a larger circle on the outside. You could use a compass if you're a real neat freak. Now the small circle is going to show where the top and the bottom of the oval are going to be. So I mark that off with a dot or a cross, and the big circle is going to show where the widest point of the ellipse will be. So you've got your points. If you join those now with a straight line, you give yourself a diamond shape. We don't want to do that. We want to use a nice curve. So place your wrist on the page and get your pencil into a nice sort of swinging motion like a curve, and pretend you're playing rounders or baseball and you're going around the edge of those points. Now if you wanted to make life easier, you could turn your page upside down to help you with that nice curve for the bottom as well. Now if it comes to a point at the corner like this, just pretend you're playing baseball and you've got to run around the post, and use your rubber to even it out. I've just touched the paper lightly with my pencil, so anything that goes wrong I can rub out. And I can also rub out my large circle that I use to help me get the sizings, and I can rub out the cross and the small circle inside. So if it looks a little bit lopsided, I want to add a bit more of a curve to this side. Just sketch that in. So it's art. We don't want it to be a perfect copy, but we want it to be as good as we can get it, as accurate as we can get it. So this is just going to be a drawing of a mug, a template that we're later on going to work into and do some other techniques on. So we've got the top of the mug. We now need to draw in the sides and then think about the handle later. So from the sides, it's pretty straightforward. You could use a ruler if you want to, or you can go freehand. So for me, I'm just going to sketch straight down. Make sure you're keeping that line as vertical as possible. And again, lots of little lines I'm doing, because the lighter I sketch this, if it goes wrong, the easier it is to rub it out. Now if I was doing this in graphics, what I would now think about is the height of the cup, and I might even measure a distance around the circumference, the same, which you could still do. So you could plot those points. So if I was wanting it to be this deep, use your fingers as a gauge, move around the circle a little bit, and then place a point where your thumb is. You could be really accurate and use a ruler and measure this. So there and there. Okay, bottom of my thumb. Move around the circle. That. And just make sure both sides are the same. There we go. Okay, you see I've plotted some points. Because the curve is underneath that way, it's naturally going against the direction of your hand swooshing. So turn your work upside down, and again you get a good swing on it. And then if you wanted to, you could even turn it again to finish off that curve. So there we have our cylinder shape. And now I have to think about where the handle goes and look at the object again. So it's about a thumb's distance down is the top of the handle. Okay, and from the bottom is the widest part of my thumb up. So measure that. So that's a little bit taller than that gap there. That's where the bottom of the handle will go. That's where the top of the handle will go. I'm going to use a cross again in the middle, and I'm just going to draw a line slightly away from the edge of the cup, and that's because we want to draw a semicircle in here. So plot those points with dots if you want. Swing it around. You could use the same technique for the ellipse. I want this to be a semicircle, and then it's going to come down into the edge of the cup here. Okay. Draw the inside of the handle. Follow that with a parallel line. And you'll notice there's an extra bit of clay sort of goes up and comes down where it's joined to the cup. So there's your handle. Again, if you think you've got the shape slightly wrong, just push it out with your pencil, use your rubber, and if you use a light pencil touch at all times, you'll always be able to rub it out. So don't worry about whether you can see your construction lines or not. We know how you've drawn it, so you probably get extra marks for that. Okay, so there, that is the basic shape for a mug.